Every traveler has heard the rumors. Book on a Tuesday. Never fly on a Friday. Check prices at midnight. The advice seems to come from everywhere, and yet most people still end up paying more than they should for their flights. The truth is, flight pricing is not random. Airlines use sophisticated algorithms that adjust ticket prices hundreds of times a day based on demand, competition, seasonality, and booking behavior. Once you understand the logic behind these price shifts, you can start making smarter decisions that save you real money. The key is knowing not just when to fly, but when to actually sit down and purchase that ticket. These are two very different things, and confusing them is one of the most common mistakes travelers make. Buying a ticket on the cheapest day to travel is not the same as buying it at the right time. Both factors matter, and together they can make a dramatic difference in what you pay. Let us start with the booking day, because this is where most of the confusion lives. For years, Tuesday was considered the golden day to book flights. The reasoning behind this was that airlines would often release sales and fare drops on Monday evenings, and competitors would match those prices by Tuesday morning. Travelers who checked prices on Tuesday would catch these lower fares before they disappeared. While this pattern has become less predictable in recent years due to automated pricing systems, Tuesday and Wednesday still tend to show slightly lower average fares compared to the rest of the week. Studies from various travel platforms have found that booking on a Sunday can actually cost travelers significantly more, sometimes as much as 5 to 10% above the weekly average. Saturday bookings also tend to run higher. The logic here is straightforward. Leisure travelers browse and buy on weekends, which increases demand and signals to airline pricing systems that people are willing to pay. Midweek, when fewer people are actively shopping for flights, prices often dip slightly. So if you have flexibility, aim to do your booking research and purchasing on a Tuesday or Wednesday rather than over the weekend. Beyond the day of the week, the specific time of day you check prices can also influence what you find. Early morning searches, particularly between midnight and 6 in the morning, have historically shown lower fares on certain routes. This is partly because airline systems reset and recalibrate during off-peak hours, and promotional fares sometimes appear briefly before being adjusted upward once traffic picks up. However, this is not a guaranteed strategy, and it works better for some routes than others. A more reliable approach is to check prices multiple times throughout the day, rather than relying on a single search. Prices can shift dramatically within a few hours, and catching a dip requires some patience and consistency. Setting up fare alerts through travel platforms like Google Flights, Kayak, or Hopper can do this work for you automatically. These tools monitor price changes around the clock and notify you when a fare drops to your target price, which removes the need to manually check at odd hours of the night. This is perhaps the most important question in the entire flight booking conversation. Book too early and you might pay a premium before sales kick in. Book too late and you will almost certainly pay inflated last-minute prices. The sweet spot varies depending on the type of trip you are planning. For domestic flights within the United States, research consistently points to a booking window of 1 to 3 months in advance as the most cost-effective range. Fares tend to be highest when booked more than 6 months out or fewer than 2 weeks before departure. The lowest prices for domestic routes typically appear around 47 days before the flight, though this can vary by route and season. For international travel, the ideal window shifts considerably. Booking 3 to 6 months in advance is generally recommended, with some long-haul routes to destinations like Europe or Asia offering the best prices when booked 4 to 5 months ahead. Waiting until the last minute for international flights is almost always a costly mistake, as airlines know that late-booking international travelers often have fewer alternatives and are willing to pay more. Now let us separate the booking day from the actual travel day, because the cheapest day to buy a ticket is not always the cheapest day to fly. When it comes to departure days, Tuesday and Wednesday consistently rank as the most affordable days to actually be on a plane. These midweek days see lower passenger demand because most people prefer to travel on weekends or at the start and end of the work week. Airlines respond to this lower demand by offering reduced fares to fill seats. Flying on a Tuesday or Wednesday can save travelers anywhere from 10 to 30% compared to flying on a Friday or Sunday, which are typically the most expensive departure days. Monday and Thursday fall somewhere in the middle. If your schedule allows even a small amount of flexibility, shifting your departure by just 1 or 2 days can result in meaningful savings. The same logic applies to return flights. Coming home on a Tuesday or Wednesday instead of a Sunday evening can shave a significant amount off your total travel cost. The day and time you book matters, but so does the broader season you are traveling in. Airlines operate on a demand-based pricing model, which means prices spike during periods when everyone wants to fly. Summer travel, particularly from late June through August, commands premium prices on most routes. The same is true for major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, and spring break. If you must travel during these peak periods, booking as early as possible is your best defense against high prices. For Thanksgiving travel specifically, booking 6 to 8 weeks in advance tends to yield the best results. For Christmas and New Year travel, aim for 2 to 3 months ahead. One often overlooked strategy is to fly on the holiday itself. Flying on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, or New Year's Day is frequently cheaper than flying the days immediately before or after, simply because fewer people choose to be in transit on the actual holiday. If you can tolerate spending part of your holiday in an airport, you can often find significantly lower fares. Understanding the best days and times is only part of the equation. Putting that knowledge into action requires the right tools and a consistent approach. Google Flights is one of the most powerful free tools available for tracking airfare. Its price calendar feature allows you to view fares across an entire month at a glance, making it easy to identify the cheapest travel dates without manually checking each one. The Explore feature lets you search by budget rather than destination, which is ideal for flexible travelers who care more about price than a specific location. Hopper is another excellent option, particularly for its price prediction feature, which uses historical data to tell you whether a fare is likely to rise or fall, and whether you should book now or wait. Kayak and Skyscanner offer similar fare alert systems that notify you when prices change on your chosen route. Beyond tools, a few behavioral habits can make a significant difference. Always search in incognito or private browsing mode, as some travel sites track your searches and may raise prices based on repeated interest in a particular route. Clear your cookies regularly if you prefer to use a standard browser. Consider booking directly with the airline after doing your comparison research, as airlines sometimes offer exclusive deals or price matching that third-party sites do not reflect. Flexibility is ultimately your greatest asset. Travelers who can adjust their dates by even a day or two, who are willing to fly at less popular times, and who monitor prices consistently over several weeks will almost always pay less than those who book impulsively or wait until the last moment. Flight pricing can feel like a moving target, but it follows patterns that reward patient and informed travelers. The best approach combines several of the strategies discussed here, rather than relying on any single rule. Book on a Tuesday or Wednesday when possible. Search during off-peak hours or use automated alerts to catch price drops without losing sleep. Aim for a booking window of 1 to 3 months for domestic travel and 3 to 6 months for international trips. Choose Tuesday or Wednesday as your departure day if your schedule allows. Fly on the holiday itself if you are traveling during peak seasons. Use tools like Google Flights and Hopper to track prices and make data-driven decisions. None of these strategies require luck. They require awareness, a bit of planning, and the willingness to be flexible when flexibility is available. The travelers who consistently find great fares are not stumbling onto deals by accident. They understand how airline pricing works, they use the right tools, and they time their purchases with intention. Apply these principles to your next trip, and the difference in your final ticket price may genuinely surprise you.